Why? Why are they doing these things? Well, they're not buying the little vacuums. They're not super gassed about the real estate that One Medical has. They're super gassed about the information it has about you. History is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Roombas. Anybody got a Roomba? Yeah, play along at home. I hope your Roomba is growing now.
I have a like an off-brand Roomba-esque thing, and we put big giant googly eyes on it. No, it's not even a shark. It's like it's one I can't even pronounce its name. It's real dumb, guys. It is banging into walls, getting stuck on stuff, and adding the big dumb googly eyes just made it even more delightful. But yeah, I don't know if Roomba is much smarter, but this is about as dumb of a smart vacuum as you could possibly get.
And Matt, I know you and I are very much of the same mind on a lot of things, so I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you do not have a Roomba.
There was one in this house for quite a time. There is no longer one in this house.
Yes. Okay. Very careful answer. I respect it. I respect you, bro.
For the record, mine is not internet connected. Just for the record, mine is not internet connected. This one is just strictly a remote controllable little widget. It does not, have any access to my network.
That's what makes it smart. The internet is what smarts it up.
Exactly. So here's the thing. So Roomba made quite a splash. They're very successful. Roomba has a parent company called iRobot. And they're part of the fad where you put a little eye in front of everything, started by Apple and propagated out through numerous companies, including our corporate overlords, iHeartMedia, the Clear Channel. So Roomba got in the news for a while, and this is a little older story, but I want to cover it because it's not getting the attention it needs. iRobot was purchased by Amazon, which meant Amazon bought Roomba. When you think of the humble little Roomba, looks like a Pixar character in many ways, you probably don't think of a company or a product that's worth $1.7 billion, which is what Amazon paid for it. Do you know how far this is hurting Jeff's plan to kind of sort of get into space again for 11 minutes. And that's very important to him. His 11 minutes kind of sort of in space, not really space, whatever. So this is on the heels of some very troubling things that Amazon has been doing. They recently acquired a company called One Medical, a U.S. healthcare company. And then right on the heels of that, they made this offer to buy iRobot. Why? Why are they doing these things? Well, they're not buying the little vacuums. They're not super gassed about the real estate that One Medical has. They're super gassed about the information it has about you. You made a great point, Matt, when you're talking about the smart aspect. Roomba learns. That's the thing people love about it, right? They're like, it's kind of dumb and it's kind of bump, bump, bump for a while, but eventually it figures out where your furniture is, it figures out the rooms, it figures out the hallways, it maps them. And what a lot of people didn't realize was that because this is connected to the internet, it shares that map, just like Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home are so suspect to me. That's why, Noel, I'm very glad that your moving vacuum cleaner is not internet connected. This is not about products. I'm going to call it now. It's about the data, because now if this all works out, Amazon will have direct access to, with no intermediary, by the way, no middleman, no gatekeeping. It'll have direct access to a full map of people's homes if they have Roombas. For a lot of us, some people might be saying, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It doesn't bother me that people know where my laundry room is. But consider that nothing, again, exists in a vacuum. I've got to stop saying that so often, but it's really bothering me these days, because now if you are part of One Medical, there will be medical information about you. If you are a member of Amazon Prime, then there's a lot of stuff out there about you and a lot of conclusions that are drawn that you probably are not aware of. You will be flummoxed. A lot of us listening today, when you realize just how much info there is on you to the point where it can predict your behavior, which is something a lot of social scientists have been looking for decades. And when I say scientists too, I mean like DARPA has been looking to do this for decades, and they got closer than you think a long time ago. So now private companies are doing this, and they're saying, look, only iRobot can check out these Roomba maps. But now if, like with Amazon at the helm of this, then we don't know who would have access to that data. Amazon said they don't have any details to share, right? Amazon is saying, no, it's not gonna, Amazon is basically saying, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, hey guys, chill, just be chill. So, this announcement came on August 5th. So later this month as we record, just last month as you hear this. And it's crazy because the way these things work doesn't mean that they're going to get data from Roomba homes going forward. It means they're going to get data ever since iRobot figured out how to do this. And if you talk to people like Maurice Stuck, a former DOJ prosecutor and antitrust expert, you'll see that Amazon's, like, their assumed focus for this is more targeted advertising. The Amazon Alexa hears when something breaks. The Roomba knows it's in the kitchen. You know what I mean? How much more granular and specific can they get? And this is also, again, this is a concern of aggregation. Matt, off air, we were talking a little bit about the Amazon Astro. I don't know if anybody has, I don't know, how much experience do you think people have with the Amazon Astro? I think we've seen the commercial, right? It's like you were talking with googly eyes. Noel, it's got a little touchpad.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is news to me. Tell me about the Astro. Yeah.
Let me put this in the chat here. Yeah.
It's a tiny little robot that is way more expensive than we can afford. But, you know, if you've just got an extra $1,000 chilling, then, hey, maybe you want this Alexa on wheels that has a lot of cameras and sensors and collects even more data on you, what you do. And in this case, kind of like Roomba, where you do it in your house. It's just super creepy. It's another one of these things that if you add in the iRobot info with this Amazon, you know, if you happen to have one of these robots, you basically just have all information.
Yeah, it's 20 pounds. It looks like a little Pixar cartoon. It has voice commands, so of course it can hear you too. It'll follow you around. It's got wheels. I put a little link in our chat here. And you can see that right now, also, this thing is kind of like a PS5. You have to request an invite to buy it. As you said, Matt, it's $1,000 right now. It's very cute. You know, I'm sure it triggers some warm, cuddly feelings for people. And it also, this is interesting, Amazon is aware of the concerns here because one of the big features advertised for this, I'll also include this in the chat, is that Amazon Astro can have its camera and microphone and motion turned off with one button per Amazon, per Jeff. Also, it can function as security. I don't know if you guys had heard that part. It will link up with your Ring subscription, and Astro will patrol, and it will, get this, investigate activity. So. Yeah. So if the dog is where it's not supposed to be, someone's breaking into your house, then all of a sudden, burp, 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 which is my Amazon Astro noise. Yeah.
Danny is masturbating again.
Did you guys see that Love, Death, and Robots piece that was kind of Pixar-y? It was the kind of like, with like, it had like a Roomba type, you know, helper robot that goes nuts and starts murdering everything. It goes somewhere more creative than that eventually. No spoilers, but I did think that one did a pretty good job of looking at the like big picture dystopia that we are heading for.
Yeah, I think it was partially inspired by things like the Astro. And, remember years back when we were talking about the dog drones, and I called it, man. It wasn't a hard thing to call. Said someone's going to put a gun on these because that's how humans are. They're just going to figure out the recoil. And by God, they did it. So how far are these Astro attachments going to go? I mean, businesses always seek to consolidate profits while diversifying products, right? Not to be too Harvard business about it, but this means that your Astro in the future might also have a Roomba included on it. Maybe your Roomba will become increasingly like an Astro. They want to add these surveillance capabilities. And then what happens when they start sort of mesh networking? Right? What happens when you are at the secret Wizard of Oz control room in Amazon and you can map an entire neighborhood? And maybe during times of domestic unrest, you get a warrant and you have to supply the information that you have about that entire neighborhood where protests just happen to be taking place.
Oh God! Oh God! Just connect that old sidewalk app up, right? Connect it to your Roomba, to your. It's just you're right, Ben. It's everything. It's already there. They're just not all in one body yet.
Oh well, here's the other thing you're gonna love. For anybody who's feeling too spooked about this, well, as long as you don't live in a ranch style house, you may have a little bit of respite because right now, Astro and Roomba cannot go up or down stairs. So, yes. So hide in the basement, hide on the second floor. You know what I mean? And don't put the Amazon Alexa up there. Now, of course, we have to point out a lot of this right now, a lot of these concerns are proactive, I would say. There hasn't been any proof yet of an obsessive, super sophisticated amount of data being used against people yet at this point, right? But we have to remember that governments can still request this stuff from different corporations, and in many cases, those corporations must comply. Also, data can be used predictively. The predecessor for what happened with Meta recently is Target. And Target has a hidden income stream selling surveillance equipment to other businesses. Like next time you're in a Target, look up at the ceiling, see how many cameras there are. There are a ton. They're very good at it.